Hello and welcome to this video where we're going to discuss the fact that Path of Exile is pay to win or not, depending on your opinion. Now this because I've received over 50 comments, pretty much all on the line that PoE is not pay to win, with different reasons, and we'll get into some of the more brain dead reasons why it's not. But let's get a control in it at the moment. Now, I'm not in the way. Just so we're clarifying everything, pay to win is involved and related to the practices of paying to get weapons, abilities, etc. that give you an advantage over players who don't spend money. Free to play. Free to play is a game you can play and you play without having to spend money. Now, I draw you to this part. In online games, there are free-to-play players who enjoy the free content and don't pay for any extras. The pay-to-win players who actively spend money on the game content. So we got the base of all that out. So let's get into some of the comments. Some of them are more silly than others. Some are fair points. Let's start at the top. It is not pay to win. You are just able to do things easier and take less time to achieve the same thing. I think that goes under pay to win in my opinion. PoE is not pay to win because it's PoE. One of the more brain dead comments. You don't pay to get things in PoE, you are supporting GGG, which then you get things as a reward. Now, that's a closet pay to win thing. I don't pay to win. I support this, that, the other thing to get rewards for supporting. Okay, we're going to see a little more. PoE is not pay to win because other games are way more pay to win than PoE is. Which pretty much, to me, how I understand that is it's pay to win, but it's not pay to win as bad as other games. Buying stash tabs give you no advantage over players who don't. I think we all know stash tabs is the number one thing that 99% of people who have played that get asked, what should I do if I want to play forward? Buy stash tabs. That's 99% of us. That's the first thing that we tell people. If you're going to continue playing this game, buy some stash tabs. Buy a premium stash tab. Buy some of the currency for sure, but some of the other ones depending on what content you're going to do, and then go from there as you keep playing. Trading tab gives no advantage. All players can get the items eventually. Now, the premise of the buying the trading tab is to get things before you're able to, or if you're not able to at all. And I think we've all been there. There's content where we either have a character that can't do it, a character that's not designed to do it, or we would rather farm this to get currency for someone else to do that because we don't like that content. Now, I think that gives you advantage over players that have to play the entire game. Just look at solo self-found. The fact that solo self-found is not the tip-top of PoE, trading is still a huge aspect of the player base that gets separated, shows that people do not want to have to create a character that can do all content just to get some of the stuff. And I think that gives you advantage, which comes under the pay to win. PoE is not pay to win because it does not get you ahead of other players. Again, I think there's one of the more brain dead comments because it does. Just 4 stash tabs, normal stash tabs for the life of a player if you're not playing solo self-found. Obviously, if you're playing League, it's per league, per character. You can pretty much have 1 stash tab pretty much per character, and you're going to get full by the end of the campaign if you pick everything up. If you're very stingy about what you pick up, by the time you're halfway through yellow maps, you've probably got a fairly full stash tab, and you won't be able to hold on to certain things. So I think, yeah, paying for a free game to get early access is not paying, is just paying to play the game. Now, to me, that means an early access. So many people trying to, we'll get to a point, but trying to say it's not early access to argue that it's not pay to win. But yeah, paying for a free game to get early access is just paying to play the game, which to me that falls under it. Early access is not an advantage because what you learn and the experiences won't help you on launch. Now, unless they completely chuck out all the stuff that's in early access going forward all the way to launch, I don't see how you don't get an advantage over someone who doesn't pay or get a free key, which we're going under everyone pays. Obviously people are going to get free keys, but we're going under the pay to win part is the free key, purchasing a key. Now, I don't see how the experiences and gameplay, the weaponry, the nuances of the game won't help over someone who doesn't play. So I think that's one of those idiotic ones. Not pay to win because it's not early access, it's more like a beta test, and beta tests can't be categorized as pay to win. It has early access. They deliberately chose early access as the thing, not beta testing. So we're going under early access. Beta testing, I think you probably couldn't sell. Has there been a purchase beta test? I know there's been early accesses and the games have been in beta, and for sometimes for like 10-15 years they've been in beta, but they're pretty much fleshed out games that you're paying for by then. Yeah, has there been a I want to pay to test your game to see what bugs are in your game? I can't think of one. There probably has been, but a top tier game. Let me know if there's been a top tier game where you've actually had to pay to test their game to see whether they have bugs in their game. That's something I don't recall. Probably has happened, but a top tier company, I'm not sure they'd do that. So I've rabbited on for a while over all these points. If you don't know my feelings, go watch the previous video, would be appreciated. But in general, paying for a free game I think is pay to win. Now, do I go hang him on a crucifix for trying to get some extra money out of a free game that's been a free game in PoE for what? We're going back over 10 years. So they haven't been getting the money they could be getting out of it because they have been a free to play, and then you can 90% of what is available is cosmetics and things, but then there are stash tabs and there is all that under the stash upgrades and all everything that you actually do have to pay for, which is the huge part of the pay to win, because even if you just buy all the cosmetics, you will have to buy all the stash tabs to actually play the game in a entire league, you won't be able to do everything. You won't be able to hold on to all your stuff. You won't be able to do all your delve, do all your ultimatum, your every time you try to think of something off the top of your head, it goes ultimatum, your delirium, your sanctum, all that. You won't be able to do with 4/tabs. So, let me know what you think. I'm sure people got triggered just purely because PoE and pay to win is in the same sentence. And just for doubling up, pay to win is this, free to play is this, with this as the sort of point proven sort of thing in my head. It is Cambridge Dictionary meanings. It's not any internet slang dictionary, it's a proper dictionary. And the dictionary meaning is pretty much what I've been saying, and people have said that I need to look it up. Well, maybe they need to look it up because they're obviously fools or in denial. It's like a lot of people you see arguing so hard at something is because they actually are in denial of what something is, or they're actually covering up for something else. So maybe it's some of that. Most of the commenters are probably just dumb suckers that don't know where their feet are. But again, start prattling on. Let me know what you think. I'm sure a lot of people will. But I'll catch you next time, and hopefully Path of Exile 2, regardless of whether it's early access, paid to win or not, lives up to its hype, and more than likely it will, because Path of Exile has had its bad leagues, but overall it has been a good game for since the Atlas upgrade. I think a lot more of the player base has stuck around since the Atlas than before. But I'll catch you next time, and hit all those buttons would be appreciated, and super thanks under the video would be awesome as well. Goodbye.